Everybody, today I'd like to talk about what we would deem as age appropriate or developmentally appropriate toys or other items for kids with special needs. Stay tuned. Hi, it's Jen, also known as the Chronic Health Advocate. I'm obviously coming to you today from my vehicle. These thoughts were running through my head as I was driving, as they usually do, so I thought I would just record a quick post. So if you're a parent like me who has a child with special needs, you are probably thinking, with Christmas approaching and that as well, what you would like to get for your child for Christmas for toys. This is something that we struggle with and have struggled with throughout our children's lives, as we're often taught or told that there are certain things that we should be getting them for different developmental ages, and that we should encourage those things with our kids. And to be quite honest, a lot of us, or I say most of us, go through we go through depressive times when our kids don't hit certain milestones, and also when we're questioned or they're not using toys or items that they feel that are determined by society that should be used at certain phases or certain ages. So it's a question that comes up very, very often in our community is we're looking for ideas for toys. We worry about what are perceived to be too young or infantile if the person's older. It's something where my son is 18 years old, and I used to really care, I guess, about this. And I guess as I've toughened up a little bit, I don't worry so much about what is age appropriate. And that's completely subjective anyway, really, what you think is age appropriate. So just to relate to my daughter, my 16-year-old daughter asked me recently, she was feeling a little bit bad because she was doing a thing for a career counseling type thing, career prep, and she was having to record all of her hobbies, and then off the hobbies they were supposed to think about what they would like to do for a career. And she came to me and she was questioning whether, because other people seem to have like numerous hobbies, and she said she didn't really have a lot of hobbies, she just had a few. And I asked her, I said, let me just ask you this, are you happy? Are you happy with your life? Are you happy right now with what you're doing? And she said yes. And I said, so you can honestly say you're happy? And she said yes. And I said, then don't worry about what others are telling you. You need to have all these things. I said, the whole point of life is to be happy. Like, don't let others tell you what you should do or what you need to do, or that you have to have 10 hobbies. If you have 2 things you really love doing, that's plenty. And so I think about that with kids too. It's just something that if they want to use what we would call an infant toy, my son uses things with a lot of buttons and things like that, and maybe he's 18 and he's supposed to be a young adult male now. I guess if other people have a problem with that, they probably have a problem with I don't worry so much about what other people think. We had an interesting experience not so many months ago where he got a new wheelchair, and this wheelchair was extremely expensive. It was more expensive than anything we had ever had in the past, and part of the reason for that was it had a lot of work to try to slow down his scoliosis. And I was really shocked when we got the wheelchair, and the front wheels have these like light up, flashy, like all different colors, almost like those when you have the shoes and you step on the shoes and they light up all different colors. So they have these wheels that light up when you drive them. And I thought, that's a really weird feature, and I thought it was a strange feature that they didn't ask me about as the mom, and they asked the color and everything else. And I thought, it's kind of juvenile. At the time he was 17 years old, I thought, who wants these light up? Like, it's not very mannish, like young man. So I hadn't said anything, because actually I hadn't realized till we left with the wheelchair that this even did this. So I was having these reservations on it and thinking, why do they do this? And then the funny thing is, these lights on this wheelchair, I'm so glad that he has them, because complete strangers notice the wheels, and they will start conversations with him and with us where they would never do that approach before. It just gives it something to, like, I think it's really cool. They notice it because it lights up. Before we'd even left the hospital that day, I believe there were 3 people who questioned us on those tires, and still now, when we're out, people will comment and they'll start those conversations. So that just challenged me a little bit on, I shouldn't really, I have to get over, or still get over, I guess, a bit on what I feel is age appropriate. And if he wants to be out in public and play with a toy that makes sound and has buttons, and that's what fits into what he can do developmentally and also what he likes, then just to honor that and let him have that. So just a thought. Again, I'm sure most of you have experiences with this if you have kids with any type of developmental delay. So certainly leave a comment. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I have to get off to my appointment now. Thanks. Bye.